Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and talking to you all. And I'm going to use the next 10 minutes to give you a sense of, what Landdock is, what does it do, and what is our aspirations for the future. Hopefully, you all find it interesting. So Landdock is kind of trying to solve three core business problems. The first is, bridging the real estate funding gap. So if you look at, globally across high interest markets, there is a dearth of financial capital and that's and that's kind of causing a lot of the interest rates to be comparatively higher. And we believe that if there is a lower cost of capital, then the cost of real estate would actually come down in some of the markets. So we've kind of sized globally all the high interest markets, and we see about $500 billion of real estate activity happening in these high interest markets, and that's what we are trying to solve, is to bridge that real estate funding. So that's number one. Number two, we see that globally there is a fair amount of land that's available, which is debt free and which can be used as a collateral. About $137 trillion of land is available globally, which can be used as a collateral, but it's spread across the world, different owners, and so on and so forth. So we're trying to see how we can bring that land as a collateral for this lending and make it more secure. Thirdly, what we find is that obviously, DeFi has grown in the last couple of years. Today, it's about 128, $129 billion activity that's happening on DeFi, and it's growing at a crazy pace. But we do still find that only 1% of Ethereum wallets are actually involved in DeFi. So we believe that if there is a slightly more secured product with a collateral, that would bring in more crypto wealth, which can then be used for the lending purpose. So in a nutshell, what Landdock does is connects the property developers, offers a collateral-based lending for crypto investors to participate. And we believe that this will bring fresh capital into the play and will reduce the cost of interest for these markets. And we are doing all of this on the blockchain, hence it's quite secure and quite fast. And now let me kind of give you a sense of some of the countries that we're operating. If you see on the screen, we are looking at countries in South America, Africa, Asia, Eastern Europe, where the base lending rates are comparatively quite high, 15% plus. So those are the kind of markets that we are looking at, but that doesn't mean we are not looking at other markets. So India is a very interesting case where the BLR is just about 9%, but you're still finding that property developers are paying up to 20%. We find even in a market like Australia, for mezzanine funding, people are spending about 15% plus. So there are opportunities across markets where property developers are paying a very high interest rates, and we are trying to focus on those. Now, what are the benefits to the players in the ecosystem? So let me talk about the real estate developers. As I mentioned, the biggest thing is lower cost of capital. Secondly is also the pace. So we are looking at lending that happens within 3 weeks versus in the traditional banking sector that goes up to 3 months. So we believe we can sort of make that process much faster and efficient. And because it's on the blockchain, it's transparent and it's much faster for everyone. The second, for the digital asset owners or crypto investors, at the end of it, they're still getting a very aggressive return. So we are looking at 15 to 20% APR. And at the same time, they have the security of a collateral-based lending. And for a crypto investor or a crypto lender, the benefit is they're getting access to a portfolio of real estate projects globally from the benefits, from the comforts of their home, and it is secured with a collateral. So they get exposure to the property industry without really having to get into the nitty-gritties of it, and yet get a fairly aggressive return. And it's again on the blockchain, so offers transparencies and of the entire transaction. So let me kind of now walk you through some of the revenue sources that the platform is operating on. So there are three revenue sources. Firstly, we have a small transaction fee, about 0.2%, that comes into play every time a lender operates on the platform. So that's our first revenue source. The second is the interest arbitrage, which is our biggest revenue source, where we are looking at an arbitrage between the interest that's paid out to crypto lenders versus the interest that's charged to the property developers. And we are trying to operate at about a 5% interest arbitrage. So that's going to be the biggest revenue driver for the platform. And thirdly, we have got some small fees when someone goes through a conversion of a land title into NFT. So that's not a key revenue driver, it's more of a cost mitigation for us. So those are our three revenue drivers. But on the basis of that, we believe there's a viable business for us. So if you look at this chart, we are seeing that property development globally, whatever is tracked is about in the region of about $10 trillion per annum. But if we were to just look at the property development activity in the high interest market, that kind of comes down to about 500 billion in the markets that we've identified. And even if we look at a conversion of 0.5% of that, that would ensure that the lending on the platform would be about $2.5 billion per annum. And based on a 5.6% kind of a platform fee, that would give us about 140,000 US of revenue. And we are targeting all of this by definitely by year 4. So that would give us a valuation of 1.1 billion based on 8x multiple to the revenue. So that's the kind of venture that we are looking at. We think it's very viable. We think it's very doable within the kind of timeframes that we are looking at. Let me now focus on the tokens. So our core token is Lock token. So Lock token is the sole means by which people are able to participate. They are able to lend through the token, and and that's the token that we are selling. It's today available for private sale. Also, it's already listed on Uniswap, and we're getting into a few other centralized exchanges in the coming few weeks. So that's the core token on which we are operating. We've got 2 other tokens. So the land NFT. So this is the the NFT of the land title, which is used for the purpose of collateralization. So that's the token. Today, the role is collateralization, but the land NFT, because it's an authenticated land title, that then also has got other use cases like transactions. So we are already in conversation with a few prop tech players who would want to use this technology for the purposes of transactions on prop tech platforms. The third token that we have is the Landgov token, which is a governance token which we are sharing with the members of the community. And the objective of that is to sort of be able to do voting on the key projects on the platform. And we have allocated a portion for independent lawyers and valuers so that there is a specialist oversight that happens on the kind of projects that comes in. So it ensures that the quality projects come onto the platform. So that has ensured that greater transparency and involvement of the community who participate. Our tokenomics is a bit unique. We have a very low volume of pre-minted tokens, just 21 million. And what we are doing is all incremental token creation is linked to the activity on the platform. So it ensures that the supply doesn't go way beyond the demand, and the value of the token is maintained and it grows. So that ensures a good mix or a good flow between the supply and demand of the tokens. We've benchmarked other tokens, and we've kind of looked at tokens or projects that operate in a similar category in real estate. While there's no project which is exactly like Landdock, but we have looked at a few other projects that have existed in the real estate space, and we find that the returns on those tokens have been about 7x to 10x. We've also looked at real estate lending outside the crypto space, and we've kind of analyzed a whole bunch of companies that operate there, and the returns are about 3x. So our reading for Landdock tokens is at least a 3x kind of a growth within 12 months. And we think it's quite doable because of, even if you use a discounted dividend model, we would see the token to be growing at least 3x, if not higher. So that's our reading for where the token price would go in the coming future. Let me now quickly kind of give you a sense of the technologies that we are operating in. So I've talked about the NFT of the land title, which we're using as a collateral, the consensus protocol, which is governing our governance token, and that allows the community to take decisions. And thirdly, we are using oracles. So Landdock as an organization, the name comes from oracles. So we bring in a lot of data from outside the chain on the chain, whether it's valuation, vicinity analysis, visuals of the land, all of that comes on chain because of Oracle. So those are the 3 kind of core technologies that we're using. And just to kind of give you a sum up of what the organization is all about, we are headquartered in United Arab Emirates, but the teams are spread globally, Malaysia, Australia, multiple countries. And the team has a deep experience in real estate, blockchain, technology, strategy. So it's quite a highly experienced team, about a few hundred years of professional experience. And we are starting with Asia, but we are looking at Africa and a few other markets to grow. So that gives you a fair sense of the business. Happy to take questions. Feel free to get in touch with us. That's my email address. That's the website. Do get in touch with us, and would like to take the conversation forward. Thank you very much.